We begin our special three-part investigation into the story of the century, the election of US President Donald Trump and his ties to Russia.
The dossier has been corroborated by the intelligence community.
The dossier, in fact, is far from bogus.
Increasingly, it's the accurate dossier.
So far, nothing in the dossier has been disproved.
The Steele dossier just rings true to me.
What about Christopher Steele? They got MI6 guy, the ex-MI6 guy, who did the famous dossier, which is getting a lot more credibility now than it did.
And there is significant evidence of collusion. There is ample evidence, and indeed there is, of collusion of people in the Trump campaign with the Russians. I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy.
The evidence suggests, indeed, Trump has been a pawn of the Russians.
But when you start to see a pattern where he basically spouts Putin's lies, then we have to ask the most unusual and frightening question about our own president.
Why this president seems to be putting Russia's interests ahead of our own.
Well, Christy, the president's tweet trying to make the case that he's not a Russian asset really just undercuts his own defense. The president's tweet couldn't have been scripted better if it was written by Putin himself.
This is nothing short of treasonous because it is a betrayal of the nation. He is giving aid and comfort to the enemy.
Is there influence, whether witting or unwitting, by the Russians over President Trump?
The possibility, the very real possibility, that President Putin holds damaging information over President Trump.
Trump's eagerness to sell out America proves the Russians must have something, personally, politically, or financially, on President Trump.
This is evidence of willingness to commit collusion. That's what this is on its face.
So let's be clear. What we are seeing and what we have been seeing is collusion in real time.
Yes.
The word collusion is what springs to mind.
I think we have all the proof we need of a scandal that's arguably worse than Watergate.
What we are watching in the Trump presidency is worse than Watergate. I've said before that what we're seeing is worse than Watergate.
I can tell you that the case is more than that, and I can't go into the particulars, but there is more than circumstantial evidence. I don't want to go into specifics, but I will say that there is evidence that is not circumstantial and is very much worthy of investigation.
Russia, Vladimir Putin, Russia hates Russia, Putin, Russia, Moscow, Russian, pro-Russian, the Russians.
Really, the goal here was simple: damage Hillary Clinton and elect Donald Trump. And these Russians allegedly went to great lengths.
He's found this incredible network of meddling, and now he has kind of a stronger basis on which to go and look at collusion, the emails. This didn't deal with the hacking of the emails, and the issue of obstruction of justice.
What's going on here is establishing an underlying crime, and then anything else henceforth is going to be conspiracy to obstruct or to collude.
There may well be information, there may well be lots of evidence that there was not only unwitting but witting assistance from the Trump campaign.
I think that the president has continued to abdicate responsibility here about leading the country in response to an attack on the most core fundamental part of our democracy, our free and fair elections.
In 2016, the Russian government attacked our democracy.
They interfered in the presidential election in sweeping and systematic fashion.
They hacked emails, spread lies on social media,
and made hundreds of contacts with the Trump campaign.
All is a part of a massive covert operation
to help Donald Trump become president.
He colluded with Russia and compromised our democracy.
And I should point out, by the way, part of why the Russians have been effective on this is because they don't go around announcing what they're doing. It's not like Putin's going around the world publicly saying, look what we did. Wasn't that clever? He denies it.
What would you have had the media do over the past 2 years?